I wanted to make a food-safe version of a beeswax finish. I had made a finish earlier that used turpentine and boiled linseed oil. That is more of what I'm calling a finish, in that the mixture either flashes off or dries, leaving the wax behind. But I wanted to make a food-safe version of that, and the way to do that is to use mineral oil, food-safe mineral oil, and beeswax. In order to do this safely, I used a crock pot, and just to speed things up, I boiled water ahead of time in one of these things that boils water really quickly. Put the crock pot on high, filled it with the already boiling water, put an old pot, a IKEA pot inside to work it as a double boiler. Here's a chunk of wax I got from a friend who raises bees. This wax is just super hard, it's like rock, and so I literally broke it using an old wood chisel and a hammer. And then I weighed out the piece of wax that I was going to use. I wanted to make a small batch first just to see how this stuff turned out. So I weighed that chunk that I had broken off of there. And what I've come up with here is a mixture of 3 to 1. In other words, I had 7 ounces of wax, and I put in 21 ounces of mineral oil. 3 parts mineral oil, 1 part wax. So I simply weighed that and then broke it up into pieces to put it into the double boiler. As I broke that piece up, again, the smaller you break it, the quicker it will melt. But it melts pretty fast no matter what. Even in boiling water, it would melt. And so I broke it up into, fairly small pieces, maybe dime-sized, nickel-sized pieces, and then poured those parts into the double boiler. And then I, using the same scale, weighed the mineral oil. Again, this was 7 ounces of wax and 21 ounces of mineral oil, 3 parts to 1. So once I had put that in the double boiler, then I weighed out the mineral oil. Here's 2 of the 3 parts weighed out. And then I simply put that on the scale and poured into it until my scale reached, in this case, 7 ounces, because this is the 3rd part. Poured that into the double boiler. And then again, because the hot water was already hot, double boiler was, or the crock pot was turned up to high, pour all this stuff together and just start stirring it. And really, this entire process probably didn't take an hour. In fact, the melting process probably didn't even take a half an hour. And I just kept stirring that until none of the wax was left in solid form. It was all completely mixed into the mineral oil, so that you saw no chunks of wax left behind. Then I used these 4-ounce screw-on tins. I bought these on Amazon. You can buy them in a package of 45. Super cheap. They are, I think, nicely done. The tops fit really nice, and they actually sealed with sort of a kind of a gasket inside the top. So I got those ready to go. And then I just used a plastic measuring cup. Here's my double boiler set up. Here's my tins. I just used a plastic measuring cup to pour these out. I did this all by eye. I didn't weigh them or anything. I kind of poured them within about 1/8 of an inch of the top of the tin, and just poured these off. It was a little bit messy, but because this stuff doesn't dry hard, it dries into I would say, the consistency of maybe Vaseline. You're able to wipe the spillage off the outside of the containers, and they came out very clean. So I just poured that all off uh, as much as I could using the measuring cup. Finally, at the very end, I just literally dumped into the remaining containers, and literally, maybe 40 minutes later, it was dry and hard and cooled. I screwed the lids on. I printed some labels using just an Avery label blank, beeswax cutting board balm, 1 part beeswax, 3 parts mineral oil. Thanks for watching.